There's only just over a week left of 2018, and it's fair to say the year has been fantastic for gaming. Throughout the year, a number of phenomenal titles were released, including Red Dead Redemption 2, Celeste, and also Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Considering how amazing 2018 has been for the industry, a lot of iconic titles and perhaps even some major announcements may be required during the course of 2019 if the year is going to be looked back on in future as superior to 2017 and 2018 respectively. With 2019 just around the corner, there are a number of great games that are scheduled for release that I'm looking forward to. With that being said, the following video looks at the 5 video games that I'm anticipating the most for 2019. This isn't exactly surprising, but this video is purely made up of my own opinions, so chances are you're going to agree and disagree with some of the choices in this list. Also, I'm just going to mention now that Naughty Dog's The Last of Us Part 2 does not feature because the release date remains unknown. While it could still release in Q3 or Q4 of 2019, or even earlier for that matter, I've also seen quite a bit of speculation that it will not be released until 2020. If there was concrete evidence that the game was releasing in 2019, it would immediately be my most anticipated game for the year, so just keep that in mind when watching this video. But anyways, let's just kick off with a few honourable mentions before I properly get started with this top 5 list. Enjoy.
We're holding the key, but we don't have a clue on how to use it.
Number 5. Pokemon Generation 8. Opening up the list is a game that technically hasn't even been announced yet. When it comes to the Pokemon franchise, the only real information we know thus far about the newest installment in the series comes from an announcement that was made at a Nintendo press conference in Japan earlier in the year. The highly praised Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee titles were announced for November 2018, while it was also announced at the time that another Pokemon game would be released in either Q3 or Q4 of 2019. In regards to Pokemon Pikachu and Eevee, the titles offer fans a more simplified and easy approach to the franchise, with the adventure and new features of the game being adapted with the suspected aim of drawing in a younger audience into the franchise. Leveling up Pokemon is very easy, the catching system is influenced from Pokemon Go, breeding was removed, and the game doesn't require a lot of time to complete either. As previously mentioned, it was confirmed that a core RPG game would also be coming to the Nintendo Switch following the launch of the Pikachu and Eevee titles. While there hasn't been a lot of information shared, it's widely believed that the latest title will initiate the 8th generation of the franchise, as opposed to expanding from Generation 7. Pokemon was one of my favourite games to play as a child, and for years I wanted to play a proper Pokemon RPG game on a more advanced console and wider screen like a TV or monitor. Thanks to the success of the Nintendo Switch, along with the Pokemon Sun and Moon titles making me fall in love with the franchise once again, I'm beyond excited to see what Nintendo and Game Freak have in store for the Pokemon franchise when the new game launches later in 2019. I just hope it can be even better than the aforementioned Sun and Moon through both the narrative and difficulty. Number 4. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Coming up next is none other than Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, a kart racing game developed by Beenox that will be a remastered version Naughty Dog's original title, Crash Team Racing. Following on from the success of Crash Bandicoot N. Sane Trilogy, many fans, including myself, were desperate for another remastered Crash title such as Crash Bash, Crash Twinsanity, or by far the most popular option, Crash Team Racing. Just like with the aforementioned N. Sane Trilogy, the game will be completely enhanced from the ground up, with reports that the game will also include new tracks, new characters, car customization, and most importantly, online play. Similarly with the original Crash Bandicoot games, I absolutely loved playing both Crash Team Racing and also its indirect sequel Crash Nitro Kart when I was younger, and I can't wait to play the remastered version of the former title. While this might be a bit controversial, I don't think either PlayStation nor Xbox has had a very successful, also a unique racing game in quite a long time, if that even makes sense. If not, I guess the point I'm trying to make here is that neither PlayStation nor Xbox has had that type of wacky racing game in the form of, say, Mario Kart that you could play for hours and enjoy. But yeah, sure, there are some great titles out there like Gran Turismo, Forza Horizon, and F1 that's off the top of my head. But Crash Team Racing just seems like a completely different genre altogether, and I'm very excited to play the game when it finally releases in June 2019. Number 3. Dreams. Coming up next is none other than Media Molecule's latest ambitious and unique title, Dreams. The game follows on from their Little Big Planet vision and tagline of play, create, and share. I first learned about Dreams all the way back at E3 2015 when it was originally announced, and I was instantly drawn in due to the beautiful art style and uniqueness the game holds. I absolutely loved playing Little Big Planet when I was younger, and I imagine I'll have similar feelings to Dreams when it hopefully releases next year. Unfortunately, the game has suffered numerous setbacks since it was announced, but I guess that's been a bit of a good thing for them since it gives them more times to get things right. An early access beta was finally released in the middle of December, after a 2-year delay. However, due to a non-disclosure agreement, nothing about the beta can be broadcasted or shared publicly yet. So as of speaking, the only information we do know about the title comes from various live streams, reports, and trailers that have been shared in the past. While it is technically a game, Dreams to me seems more like a game engine which enables players to create essentially whatever they want. If you want me to put this into a bit of perspective, Media Molecule literally recreated some parts of Little Big Planet in Dreams. Dreams is a type of game that could be seen as revolutionary if they get their formula absolutely right. The power that they are given to players in this ambitious title is both inspiring and also, if I'm being honest, incredible. While I'm not exactly a creative guru myself, I'm looking forward to seeing what I can make in Dreams, as well as playing the various other creations that people make. In short, I guess you could just say that I'm very excited to see what the future holds for this game, and also the sort of potential that it has for the future. Number 2. Death Stranding. Coming just short of the top spot is Kojima Productions' Death Stranding. The game will be the first from the highly praised video game designer Hideo Kojima since his split from Konami Digital Entertainment. Kojima is most known for his outstanding work with the Metal Gear Solid franchise. Originally, Kojima had been working on the latest installment in the Silent Hills franchise, along with The Walking Dead actor Norman Reedus and director Guillermo del Toro. However, following the cancellation of the game, the trio decided to team up instead in early 2016 to produce a completely new game that's exclusive for PlayStation, which we now know to be Death Stranding. While Norman Reedus has teased a release in the first quarter of 2019, I'd say you should just take that bit of information with a pinch of salt. However, a 2019 release does seem a bit likely, considering all of the various teasers and information that has been given to the fans in the past. Considering the fact that I didn't include The Last of Us Part 2, I guess you could say this list would be a tad awkward looking back if the game actually releases in 2020 instead. Despite the popularity, there's still not a lot that is known about what's really happening in this game. Each trailer that has been released makes the game seem that much more confusing, yet at the same time it gives me so many more questions and makes me want to know more about what's happening, which I guess is the beauty about what's been shared thus far. I mean, why is Leia Seydoux eating bugs? Why is there a baby inside Norman Reedus' body, and also giving us the thumbs up? And speaking of babies, what purpose do they play in this game? They feature quite regularly in all of the different trailers that we've seen. Aside from those previously mentioned, the game will also feature Troy Baker, who is arguably most known for playing Joel in The Last of Us, Emily O'Brien, who has featured in some Telltale Games titles like Guardians of the Galaxy, Batman the Enemy Within, and also many others. The art style for the game looks amazing, and the motion capture for the trailers looks very good and promising too. While I'll admit I'm a bit worried that the story will be a bit too complicated to understand, I trust Kojima and everyone else working at Kojima Productions, and I'm very excited to play Death Stranding whenever it does eventually release. Hopefully that is in 2019. And finally, number 1, I have The Walking Dead The Final Season, episodes 3 and 4. Last but not least, I just had to include Telltale Games, or Skybound Games now, I guess, The Walking Dead The Final Season as my most anticipated game for 2019. While Seasons 2 and 3 had its highs and lows, the final season returns to its roots of Season 1, and I've been loving it ever since. I guess my reactions prove it too.
Yes! Come on, Violet! Oh! AJ, no!
While I know a lot of people discredit The Walking Dead following the direction the games took in Seasons 2 and 3, and for what it's worth, I definitely agree with some of the arguments made, it doesn't change the fact that I absolutely love the franchise, and Clementine for me is quite easily one of my favourite video game protagonists of all time. The final season feels like a massive breath of fresh air, and for a variety of reasons too. The narrative is easily superior to what we got in Seasons 2 and 3, the art style is absolutely fantastic and is probably the best it's ever been, and most importantly, it actually feels like the choices that we're making actually play a part in the story that's being told. Following Telltale Games' closure and treatment of staff back in September, I was pretty worried the franchise wasn't going to be concluded due to the pretty obvious circumstances at hand, thanks to the legend that is Robert Kirkman, along with the staff at Skybound Games, and also the staff at Epic Games. Clementine's story will be concluded in the first 2 quarters of 2019, and thankfully a number of staff from Telltale were employed to help finish off the game. Episode 3 is scheduled for release on the 15th of January, and I would imagine the final ever episode will be released sometime between March and May. The Walking Dead: The Final Season might not be the latest AAA title or anticipated sequel, like some of the other games included in this list, but like I said before, it's one of my favourite game franchises of all time, and I'm both excited and in a way upset for Clementine's story to come to a proper conclusion. I just hope I'll be able to properly handle it when that time does come.
Now, what do you do if I get bit?
And with that, that's my list. Reply to this video either via Twitter or via YouTube with your thoughts and whether or not you agree with what I just said. But anyways, thanks for stopping by and watching this video. Maybe check out another video I've made if you like, but most importantly, goodbye, and I hope you have a great day.